Law Firm.
Let's check in now with our Rob Parker, the newest member of our TV20 family. Welcome. What's hot in sports?
We got a lot to go on tonight, and great to be here. All right, we start on this Monday night with Getting Rob, where you get my take on the three biggest stories of the night. People are still buzzing about Super Bowl 50, especially Cam Newton. He's being ripped all over. Heather, you want to know why?
I do want to know.
All right, he choked. Yes, Cam Newton choked. He was all set up for the biggest game of his career. All he had to do was play well. He didn't have to play great. Everybody knew Peyton Manning was banged up, couldn't really do too much. So if he were just to be able to play well, Carolina would have won the Super Bowl. Instead, he played poorly, and people aren't happy.
Not good.
Okay.
Ouch.
On the other side, let's talk about Peyton Manning and his legacy. Peyton Manning, everybody talked about him. He was lucky enough to win his second career Super Bowl. He's the first NFL player ever, quarterback at least, to win two Super Bowls with two different teams. But let's face it, he was terrible. He was brutal. He was moving around like a tin man. His arm was weak. I mean, he was fortunate that the defense was this good to help Peyton Manning get there in a big game, Glenda. You'll never take Peyton Manning. You know why?
Why?
Because Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl has 3 career touchdowns and 5 interceptions in 4 Super Bowls. So that's not really that good.
No, and everybody kept saying it looked like a regular season game. There was no fire anywhere.
It was not very good. All right, we turn to baseball, and the Tigers and J.D. Martinez have agreed to a 2-year, $18.5 million deal. According to media reports, they avoid arbitration, and you know what? I'm going to give it up. It's a good deal for the Tigers. Let's face it, most people weren't sure if J.D. was the real deal. He had, proven it last year when he had 38 home runs, 102 RBIs. Tigers have been spending big cash like Dave Rexroth on a Friday night after he got paid. You know that. Come on, that's right. Let's give Alavia credit. He's made some really good moves in the offseason in trying to rebuild this roster. All right, now it's time for Homeboy Highlights, where we recognize someone from either Detroit, Michigan, or one of the local teams. And tonight's Homeboy is Bronco receiver Benny Fowler from Country Day and Michigan State. Where's my remote? Where's my remote? Here it is. Let's show it. Look at it, Benny Fowler right there. Takes the pass from Peyton Manning for the 2-point conversion. Watch this, Glenda. A little funky chicken. He goes old school on us. I love it.
Little Spartan love.
That's right. Benny Fowler, come on, man. He did it right. And that might be the last pass we see, scoring pass from Peyton Manning. And Benny Fowler got it. Very nice. All right, at the Joe, the Wings blanked the Florida Panthers 3-0. Here's what you need to know. Peter Mrazek pitched a shutout in net. Pavel Datsyuk had 2 goals. This is the 37th time he's had multi-goal games. Detroit has now won 2 straight, outscoring opponents 8-1. And let's take a look at Mrazek, one of Mrazek's goals. Very nice. They are turning it around. The Wings are, at least. Turning to the Pistons, they turned in a stinker at the Palace. Granted, Toronto Raptors are a good team and have been on a roll, but the Pistons simply couldn't stop Kyle Lowry. He had 25 points. The shot of the night, though, let's watch the video, is Andre Drummond. He nails it, swish, a 3-quarter shot, but you know what? Still wasn't good enough. Finally, it's Clubhouse Confidential time, and we start with the Tigers.
Yeah.
My moles are telling me that there is going to be, or could be, a shakeup in the Tigers broadcast booth. You ready? Hold on. Dan Dickerson and Mario Impemba could switch places where Dan would do TV for some games and Mario would do radio. So they want to shake things up. Could be definitely interesting. All right, turning to football. Don't expect Bob Quinn to be throwing around a lot of money in free agency. The Lions will have money to spend, but my CWPFs, Glenda, that's close, warm, personal friends.
Okay.
Yes.
Am I in that? Can I get in that? Oh, I need in that.
But they tell me that Quinn's expected to follow the mold of the Patriots, where they rebuild on draft picks and things like that and free agents and not just going out and spending money. And lastly, the Lions are putting a squeeze on long-standing season ticket holders. My peeps are telling me that since 2003, $99 tickets are now $138. That's a 40% increase. And you know what? it wouldn't be that bad if the Lions were actually going to the playoffs. You wouldn't mind paying some extra money. That's a lot in just 3 years.
Listen, I like you, Rob, but I got to correct you. You're factually incorrect. When you talk about spending Dave Rexall's money, you're talking about my wife, not me.
Okay, there you go.
Welcome to the team,
Welcome.
man.
I appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
And people can watch us and make the switch.
All right, great to have you, Rob.
Great.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay. So,
Snow.
Debbie's
Snow.
money. Debbie's money.
Big money right there.
Listen, here's the deal. Shovels,